Another deer. Another buck. Man, that deer looks mature. Holy cow. Too bad you don't have a tag. Well, it's Sunday, October 31st, and Ryan and I have made the move down to the River Bottom Farm. We are in one of my favorite spots on the whole farm. We are in the pinch set. I've had a lot of fun sits here over the years. This is where I shot Prodigy and shot Gronk just across on the other side of the river, with which we hunt sometimes on a easterly wind. We have really great conditions today. It's nice and cool, mid-40s, super high pressure, and it's on the rise, about 45 degrees or so. And we've been covered up in deer all morning. We've tried to do the interview multiple times. We've had deer bedded, came in and bed under us at 40 yards. We still have a fawn over here at 50, 60 yards. We just had a couple bucks come cruise by. One was a nice 2.5-year-old and a more mature buck that looked to be at least 4.5. I didn't really recognize him. I haven't looked at the trail cameras on this farm very much. Jared has transferred them to me. I just haven't really had time, and I've been pretty wrapped up with Chubbs, but I wanted to give the home farm a little break. The mornings have been pretty slow over there, and I've been contemplating how much my morning sits affect my afternoon sits. Chubbs has been way more active in the afternoon, and so I thought, come spend a morning elsewhere, and we'll get back in there this afternoon. I actually had dinner with Jared last night, and he told me that he saw Dak out in the willows. So it is cool to have our first encounter with him this year and know that he's daylight active. It seemed like from the story he might have been better with a doe, but never quite know. I went back and forth on where to sit this morning. I love this spot, and I think in general when the bucks start cruising, it's hard to beat this spot. But last year, how much I hunted Dak, since I hunted him a ton, kind of feel like the way he comes in and out of the peninsula is in and around that south plot, just north and just south of it. And so I was contemplating setting up on him over there. But in the end, I thought, come and sit in the pinch and we'll see what happens. Certainly puts us in the game for Marino, even though Marino's not really frequenting the farm, similar to last year. And really, even with Dak, he's not been that frequent. He's doing kind of what he did last year. He's here for a couple days and gone. And last year he was pretty active end of October, first few days of November. We had daylight photos of him. I had some encounters with him. So sitting right here, you know, you never know what's going to happen. And I keep crossing my fingers that the crabclaw tin will show back up. Pretty disappointing. We haven't gotten any pictures of him for how many close encounters we've had with him in the last couple years. Such a great looking deer last year. Passed him a bunch of times and he just disappeared after he shed. So it's really disappointing, but plenty of other good bucks around, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy the morning. I'm not spending a lot of time down here, and I still don't plan to, just because I want to stay after Chubbs. He's active right now, and he's a killable deer. I just really want to stay after him and try to get him on the ground. So it's shaping up to be a great morning. We've already seen 9 or so deer, and it's just like 8:30. This is like my favorite deer on this farm. about 11:30, so we're gonna start packing up, and I'm gonna make a move back to the home farm. It's a really enjoyable sit, beautiful morning, lots of deer activity, deer bedded under us, etc. And we actually had, it's amazing how many deer this morning walked downwind of us. Normally they walk on this side of the tree, but a lot of them came downwind. Obviously we got the ozonics going and we're really high, which is one of the things that helps when they're like close to the tree. And the rising pressure and a nice sunny day with thermals rising, it worked out. Not a single deer got us or blew or anything like that. A couple of them hesitated for a second, but they all just walked right on through and kept going into the peninsula, so that worked out pretty well. Ended up seeing, I think, 4 different bucks. Anyway, good morning. Like I said, we're going to make the move to the home farm, so I'll see you guys this afternoon. About 4 o'clock now. Ryan and I have made the switch to the home farm. We're back in the Skybox set, the same set we sat last night. I went back and forth whether to get up in the cherry tree or come back here. My thinking is they're kind of on either side of the Chubbs' primary bedding area, and they're both over good food sources. Down in the bottom here we've got a great turnip plot. Up there we have turnips. We can see the alfalfa, and I've got that acre of standing beans. And there was a lot of deer activity up there last night. And it's very tempting to go up there, but I just feel like there's a little too much north in the wind. And also we have gusty winds over 20 miles per hour. They're going to die down the last hour, but sometimes that real gusty wind might make the deer want to come out down here. Another thing is Chubbs has actually been in this food plot in daylight 2 afternoons. I mentioned it yesterday, the 23rd and 26th. So he hasn't been up there in daylight in a long time. So all those things considered, I want to come sit right here. And that set would put me in the game more for the 6x5, but I'm more focused on Chubbs. I have had Chubbs on camera the last 2 nights, not in daylight, but right here in the clover, like right where we park. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning and he's working the scrape right there. And I had him on another camera up the creek last night, actually shortly after dark. I think we walked, I had him on camera at 7:03. We were walking out like 7:10. We probably walked, 100 yards from him. We were sneaking out of here, no lights, etc. So he seemed like he was just standing in front of the camera. Hopefully he comes out in this spot tonight, or if we can lay eyes on him out in the cut beans or something. We just need to be where the does are. So as I mentioned yesterday, I'm just kind of at the mercy of where the does go out. Chubbs hasn't been nearly as active as some of the other mature bucks. The other mature bucks have been cruising a little bit, working scrapes at 10 o'clock in the morning, and he's still mostly nocturnal. So I'm still trying to buy a little time, but he has been daylight a few times, always in the afternoon. And I feel like this is our best chances. Last night, this morning, we had a great hunt at the river farm, great activity. I stayed out of here to try to let it rest a little bit. We'll see how the afternoon goes. down to our last 20 minutes. It's been a fun hunt so far. We've seen 3 bucks. We had a doe and a fawn come out in the food plot. Younger bucks chasing her around. We had another doe come out in the cut beans and had a young buck chasing that doe around. So it's really fun to see that activity. Haven't seen any mature bucks, but you know, these next 20 minutes it could happen. So I'm excited for this last little bit here, but once it gets dark, I gotta hightail it out of here, and we're going trick-or-treating with the kids. So I'm gonna go meet them and go have some fun, and then tomorrow the calendar turns. I'm pumped for November 1st. The weather looks really awesome. It's gonna be freezing in the morning with super high pressure, so we're gonna come up with a game plan and try to make a move on Chubbs, get back in the bedding area. I'll see you guys tomorrow.